Hey, my name is Wes. Welcome back to another lesson. In today's lesson, we are going to look at the fundamentals again. This time, part 3 of the green fundamentals lessons. Fundamentals are words and phrases that we use very often, and so they are very useful to know. So I would not recommend you to skip this lesson and really learn these words by heart because you will use and hear them very often. In today's lesson, we are going to learn about 13 different words and phrases. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right. First word that we will learn is
¿Qué? ¿Qué?
And in our previous lesson, we went over the question words in Spanish, and we saw that que, with an accent on the E, means what. However, if we don't use the accent and we write que, then it becomes that. So que with an accent, what, que without an accent, that. Then the next word,
Lo. Lo.
and the word lo is one of the most fascinating words in the Spanish language to me, because lo can actually mean many different things. For now though, I just want you to remember lo as a way of saying it. So for example, if you look at this sentence,
Lo que tienes. Lo que tienes.
it means it that you have. So we just learned que also. So it, lo, que, that, and tienes is you have. So it that you have, or that what you have. Lo que tienes, that what you have. So lo, it, que, that. All right, next word is
Con. Con.
which is with. So for example, pan con tomate, which means bread with tomato.
Pan con tomate. Pan con tomate.
Con, with. And then without is sin.
Sin. Sin.
So for example, sin sal, por favor, which is without salt.
Sin sal, por favor. Sin sal, por favor.
So sin without, con with. All right, next word is después, which means after.
Después. Después.
So for example, después de las clases, after the classes.
Después de las clases. Después de las clases.
And here we see something interesting happening, which is that we use the word de after después and in between después and las clases. And that is because Spanish is a bit different than the English language, so sometimes we need this word de to make a sentence grammatically correct. So the word de in this sentence, literally translated, means of. So the sentence literally translated is after of the classes. After of the classes. But if you would translate this to English, then you would say after the classes. However, in Spanish, we need this word de to make this sentence grammatically correct. So just know that this is something that we will see happening more often in the Spanish language, and that the translation from Spanish to English and English to Spanish does not always translate one-on-one. Alright, so después, which means after in English.
Después.
Then the next word we will learn in today's lesson is
Otro. Otro.
or,
Otra. Otra.
which means other or another. So el otro is the other, masculine, and la otra is the other, feminine. Or we could also say
Los otros. Los otros.
or
Las otras. Las otras.
if we are talking about the plural form. And then also let's have a look at an example. So for example, this sentence, necesito otro café, which means I need another coffee. Necesito is I need, otro is another, and café is coffee.
Necesito otro café. Necesito otro café.
And here we see something interesting happening again, which is that we can just say otro and we don't need to say un otro, just like in English, where you would say another. So you add an before other, another. This is because otro by itself already means another, so we don't need to say un otro café. We can just say otro café. So necesito otro café. I need another coffee.
Necesito otro café.
All right, then the next word is
Bueno. Bueno. buena, buena,
which means good or well. For example, from buenos días, which is good morning. And bueno can also be used as a catchphrase, so kind of as a way of replying to someone. So if someone says something, you can say, bueno. You can say, all right, well, good. So that's definitely useful as well. Maybe you could use that from now on as well. All right, next word is
ahora, ahora,
which means now.
ahora,
And as we know by now, because I've been replying it so many times, the H in ahora is a silent H, so we don't pronounce it. So not ahora, but ahora, now. Or if you want to say later, so not now, but later, we can say
más tarde, más tarde,
later, with the accent on the A.
ahora, más tarde.
Alright, so then the last 4 sentences that I want to give you for today's lesson, which are sentences that can be very helpful. The first one is, do you understand? Which is something you can ask other people when you try to speak in Spanish, or which is something that other people might ask you if they are not sure if you understand them when they are saying something in Spanish. So, do you understand?
¿Entiendes? ¿Entiendes?
Which comes from the verb entender. But because we're talking about you understand, we say entiendes. So entender changes, conjugates into entiendes. Entiendes? Do you understand? Or if you want to say, do you understand me? We can just add me in front of entiendes. So, ¿me entiendes? Do you understand me?
¿Me entiendes? ¿Me entiendes?
Do you understand me? Or another way that we can say, do you understand or do you understand me is
¿Comprendes? ¿Comprendes?
do you understand? Or
¿Me comprendes? ¿Me comprendes?
do you understand me? So we have 2 different verbs here. We have entender and we have comprender.
Entender. Comprender.
Which both mean to understand. Now they have slightly different applications, which in this lesson I don't want to dive too much into because I want to keep it simple for you. So for now, just know that there's 2 different verbs to say the same thing. So, entiendes or comprendes. Alright, so then the 2 last phrases that we will have a look at today. The first one is
¿Puede repetirlo? ¿Puede repetirlo?
which means can you repeat it? Puede, you can. Repetir, repeat, lo, it. So can you repeat it?
¿Puede repetirlo?
And this is a very helpful phrase that you can use to ask someone if they could please repeat what they said.
¿Puede repetirlo?
Could you repeat it? Or you could even say
¿Puede repetirlo más despacio?
más despacio means more slowly.
¿Puede repetirlo más despacio?
Can you repeat it more slowly? And trust me, you're going to need a sentence because Spanish speakers speak very fast. And so sometimes you want to ask them to slow down a bit so that you can understand what they are saying. Alright, and then the last sentence we will learn is
¿Cómo se dice en español? ¿Cómo se dice en español?
how do you say in Spanish? And this is a very powerful phrase as well that you can use, especially when your vocabulary maybe is not that wide yet. So for example, if you have your phone, you could say, ¿Cómo se dice phone en español? And then the other person will likely say, phone se dice teléfono or móvil. And so it's a very powerful phrase that you can use to build upon your vocabulary list.
¿Cómo se dice en español?
Alright, and that is the last phrase that we learned today. Now, as always, if you want to download the PDF file of today's lesson, you can do so by going to my website, SpanishWithWes.com. Link is in the description. Also, if you have any questions or something is not clear, not only about today's lesson, but about anything in Spanish in general, you can always send me a message. I'll do my best to reply as soon as I can. And that's it for this lesson. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful. And as always, I hope to see you in the next lesson. Adios.